Yo everyone, welcome back to another creepy, spooky story from your favorite place for all things weird, graveyarddance.com. As we promised last week when we did the story on the Hammersmith ghost, we mentioned that this week's story would follow in the same vein as the previous story, that not only would it be a really dark chapter in American history or folklore depending on who you talk to. The events took place at a time and in a place where cameras wasn't really a thing yet. So we've enlisted on our trust AI to create a few of the photos to help tell the story. As far as I know, there are no real photos of the people involved in this story, but just like the last one, it was just too strange of a story to not to share with you all. So sit back, grab a beverage of choice, a snack, cuddle up next to your favorite person or pet, and enjoy watching our video. Speaking of pets, if you happen to live within the United States and you're maybe possibly giving some thought to adopting a pet, why not head on over to eyesofadog.com. What is Eyes of a Dog? I'm glad you asked. It's a nationwide directory of animal rescues, adoption centers, and things of that nature. It's a place to find the perfect pet for your home and family. Just click your state, then scroll down till you see a city or town near you. It's absolutely free, and it's that simple. We do a lot of scary and tragic videos each week, but nothing is more scarier than what happens to the pets that aren't adopted. If you're thinking about buying from a backyard breeder or pet store, please consider Eyes of a Dog first. Most of the adoptable pets are already pre-spayed or neutered, which means by giving them a chance, that's less dogs and cats who will end up being euthanized each year. You're not just helping save the life of a single pet when you adopt from eyesofadog.com. You're helping save the lives of hundreds of pets who won't be born only to be thrown away like yesterday's trash. Again, that's eyesofadog.com. Now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about a truly dark, twisted, and sinister case which supposedly took place around the late 1800s or early 1900s in the great state of Nebraska near a town of about 7,000 or 8,000 called Nebraska City. Before we go on, I must admit that there is no actual newspaper clippings or historical record of the actual crimes we are about to talk about. Many believe that the town simply didn't want to be remembered for this kind of horrible tragedy, similar to the way Salem is known for the witch trials, so they simply chose to cover it up and never speak of it again. Others believe that it's simply a legend or story handed down from one generation to the next, and is just simply a great story. No matter what side of that fence you're on, almost everyone from the area though has their own story of terrifying events that has happened to them after going down that road. From seeing actual ghosts floating through the fields, to hearing disembodied screams from invisible women, to mechanical issues as soon as they get on the road, to even being terrorized by a werewolf-like creature. The events that continue to take place on this road is a continuing phenomenon. Even local news crews went out there to investigate, and as soon as they did, were met with many of the same things many others have experienced. Brand new batteries on their equipment going dead, hearing screams, and all of which left them never wanting to return to that road ever again. What is it that makes this road so haunted? L Road, as it's known to locals, began as a simple road between towns with sparsely anything in between them except for large farms. One of these large farms was owned by a young man who had inherited it from their parents and his 7 sisters. According to local records, this part can at least be verified. Legend has it that the young man was terribly defensive of his land. He didn't want anyone, not neighbors, friends, or anyone else, to ever set foot on the property. It's said that he had a nasty temper and would throw anyone off his land that even came near it. It's no surprise then that when the state came forward to claim an easement to build a road to the river so that steamboats could unload their cargo and get it to nearby towns, the man became absolutely enraged and refused to even consider it, even for a moment. Everyone in town thought he was being selfish and mean about it, and soon, his family all agreed. It's said that the young man began to get angrier by the day and soon began to become unhinged by his own inner fury. He began to think that the townspeople had poisoned his sister's views against him, which drove him deeper and deeper into his own psychosis. It's unclear what all happened next. It again depends on who you talk to or hear it from. Most agree that he somehow gave his sisters all sedatives to knock them all out, and he carried their bodies one by one to hills scattered all over the property and hung them from nooses in the trees, one by one, so that anyone who set foot on his land would know what would most likely happen to them. All 7 sisters apparently died that night. He had not only drugged them, but even cut their throats, and even bashed in the face of one sister. One sister, who was 7 months pregnant, was hung upside down by her feet, gutted, and near the tree lay the unborn child whose own uncle had so callously killed along with his mother, and really, for what reason? Greed and selfishness. Each sister was hung alone in a tree. 7 sisters, 7 trees scattered over 4 large hills. The bodies were found the next day by a church group who worshipped on the adjoining land. They looked out and saw the body of one of the sisters and called for help. It must have been an eerie and horrifying experience, especially to people back then when most people loved and looked out for each other. Locals say that the brother was executed the following week for his hateful, evil crimes. But, again, there isn't any historical record of this actually happening. Since this time, a few different spiritual mediums have been out there to see if they saw or felt anything, and some have reported actually being able to see several people hanging in what was an old graveyard out there on a hill. The key difference is, they say they see both men and women hanging and even a few children. The area was founded around the late 1850s, and they say that the area was ripe with lynchings. Could what they saw have anything to do with that? What is clear though is from the early 1900s all the way up to present day, all types of strange things have happened on that road and continue to happen that has terrified most people into never going there again after having gone down it. They say the paranormal events started to occur when the state came in and knocked down many of the trees that the women were hung from and put the road through the land to the actual river. Did this anger the ghosts of the sisters, or was it their brother? It could have even been the ghost of their father, who apparently died a few years before all this happened and who made the boy promise not to ever sell the land that he had worked so hard for. In the 1960s, locals even claimed that a werewolf-like creature that was over 8 feet tall would chase cars up and down the road and even manage to knock out a back window and tear the bumper off a car. Anyone who knows anything about older vehicles knows that whatever could do something like that had to be a powerful beast, because those old bumpers were made of steel. That went on for about 10 years. People continue to hear screams at night, hear disembodied voices moaning or telling people to get off the land. They see ghostly apparitions floating across the land where the events supposedly happened. The land that belonged to the brother and his 7 sisters is privately owned now, so trespassing isn't a good idea. They do give private tours to friends and family on occasions, but as far as I know, you can travel the road itself, you just can't go off onto the land itself. So if you're out that way and want to check this out, please do, but remember to be respectful of the current owners. Cars going up and down the road constantly break down for no apparent reason. Lights flicker and die, batteries die, even new ones. Cars and vehicles stall and won't start till the next morning. The list of oddities just go on and on. Is it all just a massive hoax that's went on for years? A historical cover-up? Or are the spirits of the 7 sisters and their evil brother still not at rest in the afterlife? Another thing is the werewolf thing. Did that actually have anything to do with everything else, or is that another cryptid altogether? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Have you ever been to 7 Sisters Road? If so, what were your experiences? We'd love to know. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about us at graveyarddance.com. Till next time, thanks for watching.